Hi, this is Shirley from Alaska, the Herb Lady. We're going to talk about something that I've really only used it really once, but it saved my life because I was supposed to go to a wedding, which was my daughter's wedding, and she was getting married, and I had this pain so bad that it was like somebody's taking a knife and going like this to me, and I thought, what in the world? And Shannon's, well, she's getting married to Ted, and his sister and mother was at the kitchen table, was fixing all the food up and everything, and I had to get up and run to the bathroom, put my mouth over a towel and scream. That's how bad it was. And I thought, if this don't change, I'm not going to be able to go to the wedding tomorrow, because I was in so much pain. So anyway, what happened was his sister was a nurse and said, oh, I had a pain like that before. And I thought, no, I don't think anybody's had pain like this. And she said, I went to 3 doctors, and she said, I found out it was my nerves. I said, nerves? I feel pretty calm. My daughter's getting married. Well, I thought about it, and I went and got this herb, and it's called Valerian. And I took 3, nothing happened. Took 3 more, nothing happened. Kept on taking 3 at a time. And I finally got up to 16 herbs that day. When I got up to 16, the pain went away and never came back. So I got to go to the wedding the next day with no more pain. Didn't take any more, just that one day. It relaxed my nerves. And I was so thankful, because I almost thought I couldn't even go, because I didn't want to scream while she was getting married, but I would have to, because the pain was so bad. So your nerves has a lot to do with pain. And so you got to calm them down. And this Valerian finally calmed me down for my daughter to get married without me being in pain. Okay, Valerian is a classified nervine. It's a herb that stimulates and heals the nerves. And a lot of times we don't realize that we literally destroy our nerves. And we think, whoa, why are we talking this way? Or why are we being mean? And a lot of times our nervous system is out of balance. And we usually bring on nervous problems ourselves because of the sheath of the nerves has been worn and eaten away by the calcium having been leached off with sugars that we take so much in with beverages, with candies, with pastries, from bread that turns into sugar into our body. So it's not our nervous system that did it. We did it to our nervous system by eating sugar. Sugar destroys the nervous system. It eats the sheath off. When the sheaths are worn off, the nerve loses their energy and their power. This also can be what we can end up in the asylum. And just think, nobody ever thought about eating sugar. And a lot of this teaching was done almost 100 years ago by Dr. Christopher. I mean, it's nothing new under the sun. But I threw sugar out of the house 45 years ago because my husband, he couldn't handle it because he would break out from being in Vietnam. So we don't touch it as much. I mean, I'm not saying not ever, but it's so least you could count it on one finger. When we find ourselves becoming nervous wrecks, the nerves become so fray that they become uninsulated like electric wires. Finally, they short out, and that is why we have nervous problems. When there is stress, arguments, our nerves can't take the load and give out. Dr. Christopher said that we have to feed our nerves. They are usually robbed of food that they need to rebuild the nerves. They are usually robbed of food that helps to that they need to have. The doctor said that it is surely herbs, better herbs for them, like herb tea is fine. But then he said especially black tea deranges the nerves. I mean, messes the nerves. I tell people to quit drinking black tea because of the caffeine in it, because anything that's got caffeine, like coffee, it destroys the nerve sheaths, and it messes your nervous system up. Dr. Christopher said that good diet, herb nervines, are the only way that you can improve your nerves. He mentioned that the synthetic fabric that we wear are a modular vibration that is out of harmony with the human vibration, and wearing synthetics causes nervousness. I studied that. Let's see, I lived in this house for 32 years, and I pulled an advertisement out of the health magazine back about 35 years ago, and this woman kept on getting migraine headaches every time she put on this red polyester dress. She found out it was the polyester dress that was made from oil, polyester made from oil, that was giving her the headache. When she quit wearing it, her headaches went away. And I knew that, but him knowing that too, I thought, because we got energy, even a rock has energy, a plant has energy. There's energy all the way around us. And in fact, they say when we pray for our food, I've got a whole teaching on this, when we pray for our food, it changes the energy and makes it healthier as we pray. Now, if we don't pray for our food, it's not as healthy as it could be, but if we pray, it changes the energy of it. People who switch their wearing apparel from synthetic to cotton, silk, and linen and wool, in large measures, their nervousness cease, especially when they start to eat a healing diet of vegetables, nuts, grains, and seeds. Little children especially need to have these fabrics close to the skin so they can grow up balanced. I have read a couple of articles where they dip these nightgowns of children in farty, and it messes the children up. And a lot of times they said sometimes it can cause death for a real young, especially if the child is weak, if it's a weak child, because of the chemicals. So chemicals is not our friend, it's our enemy. Little children needs to have these fabrics close to the skin so they can grow up balanced. We discussed the problem with a couple of chemists, and they confirmed that each substance in the world does have a specific vibration that is complemental to each other. Dr. Christopher also said that our bodies collect excess static vibrations. Our bodies receive electricity through the top of our head, where we used to have that soft spot when we were babies. This electricity is essential to our body, but it must be fresh and free and flowing, coming down through the top of the head, down through the spine, through the body, and is grounded to the earth. When we do not let the electricity out and be grounded into the earth, it becomes static and toxin and builds up so much that new electricity can't come in, and we can't sleep, and we become hard to live with. See, so much here, I always teach about eating correctly, eating protein in the morning, eating protein in the afternoon, and in the evening to balance your blood sugar so you be sweet and lovable. But even your nervous system, you have to repair it, so you can be sweet and lovable. A lot of times you're just cranky and you wonder why, because you don't feel cranky, but yet you're out of balance. And if you get back in balance, you can feel great. Each day there is a need to send some time out on the lawn or the ground to get rid of the static electricity in your body. And I've taught that like 25 years ago. Especially after it rains, go out and walk barefooted in the grass. And he was teaching this over 100 years ago, Dr. Christopher was. He would stop at nursing homes and tell them to take off their shoes and socks, even if they was in a walker, or not a walker, well, in a walker, but also in a wheelchair, and get them next to the ground. And when they got next to the ground, after they'd been out there on the grass for 15 minutes, came in, they didn't even have to have the sleeping pills. They just went right to sleep because it helps to deground them. Valerian, I did not know this. Most time when you think of a cat, it likes catnip, but they said when you smash valerian, just like crumble it or something, cats will attack your garden because they like catnip. They like catnip, and you've got to do the same thing. The cat can walk right beside catnip and not think nothing about it till you move it, till you get that smell, and then that's what they go after. Well, valerian is the same thing. When they go right after that valerian after it's been crushed, so they smell it. During World War I in Europe, valerian was given to the civil men and women under bombardment. They was being bombed and suffering nerve strain from the air raids. In large doses, the herb can cause headaches, and so you don't want a large dose of valerian. You want to just use what the bottle says to use. But with me, I was desperate. I either go to the wedding or not go to the wedding, but I would never ask somebody to take that many valerian. But it seen me through, and it helped my problem that I had at that moment. The powder of valerian is the best nervine known. It is good when you have congestion of the blood in the brain, or not enough blood in the brain, where there is irregular blood causing symptoms of vertigo, a sense of rushing of the blood to the head, fainting, confusion of sight and hearing. These symptoms often occur associated with menopause, and valerian is a remedy to alleviate them. Anyone suffering from hypochondria can benefit from taking the herb to abate it. The excitement of circulation, calming the nerves, removing wakefulness, promotes sleep, and induce sensation of quietness and comfort. Sadness is removed, and the hypochondriac state of mind gently abates. The nerve is helpful in nervous fevers, having the symptoms of hypersensitivity, uncertain movements, rapid respiration, sleeplessness, restlessness, anxiety, and profuse flow of urine. Convulsions can sometimes be caused by worms, and this often resembles epilepsy. Valerian is anti-parasite and removes convulsions and helps to get rid of worms. Valerian feeds the nervous system and helps to regain the elasticity of the nerve endings. The herb is quieting for people under nervous strain. It calms the patient and brings about feeling of quietness and good feeling. It is good for people who suffer hysteria, indigestion, often to food in the system, causing toxin agitation, especially for women who tend to under stress as they serve or eat the meal. I can remember fixing the meal, feeding the baby, making sure the other child got food, the husband wanting the food right now, and you just running, just trying to get everything done. And then when I sat down, I didn't want to eat nothing at all. These headaches are often accompanied by temporary frontal headaches, irritation, and bloating in your stomach, because it ferments in your system without being digested. The gas comes from without noticing and subsides, and suddenly after, causing quiet and discomfort. This is commonly treated with valerian, and it's effective. The herb is often prescribed in cases of insomnia. It calms the nervous, abates the excitement of the circulatory system, removes wakefulness, and promotes sleep, induces sensation of quietness and comfort. It is good for children, infants who are restless or ill, such as with measles or scarlet fever. All you got to do is make a tea and just give them a teaspoon or so. It brings rest, sleep, and important healing in some cases. The herb has been beneficial on the heart and blood pressure. This one client didn't say that he was going to stop taking his medication, but a few weeks later he said that he had been to the doctor and that his blood pressure was down to normal. He didn't have the nerve to tell his doctor that he had stopped taking his medicine, but a few weeks later he said that he had been to the doctor and that his blood pressure was down to normal the second time, and he didn't. And he didn't have the nerve to tell the doctor they had stopped it. And what he was doing, he was drinking the tea with 2 capsules in the tea and 2 capsules of hawthorn berry, which was for his heart. Valerian increases the use in rehabilitation of drug addicts. A former drug addict says that it is a good sedative. The root plays an important process of rehabilitation for many addicts. It is greatly relieved ringing in the ears. The herb can be taken for chronic constipation, particularly if it's due to nervousness. When you express valerian oil with alcohol, it's excellent for massage for people that's paralyzed, for cramps, for swollen joints, for swollen arteries and veins. The ancient Aztecs used the herb as a massage oil to act directly upon the nervous system through the spine. The herb valerian acts as a tonic in the system and to eliminate acne and pimples. The historical use, it's a nervine, it's antispasmodic, it protects against the plague, head pain, it brings on sleep, it's a sedative, it calms nervous strain, stress, mental derangement, irregular distribution of blood to the brain, sadness, helps with restlessness, anxiety, ringing in the ears, swollen joints, swollen arteries, cramps, and being paralyzed and acne. But one thing you never do is never use boiling water. When preparing the herb, it must never be boiled. You can use low heat for 15 to 30 minutes in hot water, but never boil. It takes the medicine part of it away. I hope you enjoyed a true story about what happened to me with valerian, and I hope you'll be able to use it to help yourself.